reminder to flip it both ways.
This is the first for me. We're going to call the meeting to order so we can start on time.
Mrs. Bowman?
Here.
Mr. Conrady?
Here.
Dr. Sawala? Here. Dr. Schulman?
Here.
Ms. Cheney?
Here.
Mr. Euclides?
Very good.
Mrs. Steiner? Let the record show that Mrs. Steiner.
I'm not getting anything on
Then we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance and so, Mr. Tansett, would you lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start the first thing on our consent agenda is the approval of minutes from the regular meeting held on June 12th, 2019. Do I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
And then Ryan noted to me that out of the 4 people who attended the meeting, only 3 are here.
Yeah.
So
Not very faint.
entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
I would second that. Any discussion on
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sawala?
that? Yeah.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Euclides? Mrs. Bowman?
Yes. And the next item is approval of accounts from the month of June. What is your pleasure? Thank you, Mark. Second.
Dr. Sawala?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Euclides? Mrs. Bowman?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
And do we have any communications?
I did not receive any sheets.
And we'll go on to correspondence.
Time hearing us?
Oh, okay. Thank you, sorry. There is no correspondence file. Announcements, Dr. Christensen?
No, I think we can, we're able to move into the superintendent's report. That's the next item.
Then I'll let you go ahead.
All right,
with that.
well, a few items that I wanted to take the opportunity to speak to. As the board knows, you approve a number of travel trips for our student groups, and we've got groups competing at various locations over the summer months, and we've got some results that I wanted to report out on. We had 3 Marshfield FCCLA members that were honored to represent the school district of Marshfield at the FCCLA National Leadership Conference in Anaheim, California, June 29th through the July 4th. Sierra MacArthur, Emma Carter, and Melina Dulesky. They were among 4,700 competitors from across the nation, and they earned a gold award in National Programs in Action for their service project, which included making freezer meals for the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge. In particular, I think it's worth noting, if I recall correctly, because I met them at the CTE Advisory Council meeting at the end of the school year, I believe all 3 are freshmen. So that's pretty impressive to go to nationals and get a gold award at that young age. We also had HOSA participate at the National Leadership Conference. So we'd like to extend our congratulations to 5 young ladies who recently competed at the HOSA International Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida. Nikita Gantaguta received a Silver Recognition Award in the Barbara Jean Service event, having documented over 175 hours of community service this year. Not only were they able to compete at the international level, this group also had opportunities to further develop leadership skills and strengthen their HOSA membership, in addition to finding a little time to have some fun as well. So that's to report out on a couple of our groups from the summer. One other piece then that I wanted to take the time to speak to, and this is a little bit lengthy, but I know a little bit later, within our finance report, our meeting that we had earlier this evening, one of the items that we had reference to was the CTE incentive grant. I wanted to talk a little bit further about that for reasons you'll understand in just a moment. So we recently received some great news from the DPI regarding our allocation for funding for this year's Career and Technical Education Incentive Grant. The CTE Incentive Grant awards are based on the number of students who earn certifications in youth apprenticeship and other work-based learning programs, and it provides school districts with up to $1,000 per student for completion of state-approved certificates. The state legislature increased the total budgetary authority for the grants this year, which allowed claims from school districts for CTE incentive grants to be fully funded at the maximum amount of $1,000 per student, rather than it being prorated, which is what's been happening in recent years. The current funding allocation is based upon the participation from the class of 2018. So they look back at 2018 to determine how much money you will be allocated. The Marshfield graduating class of 2018 included 86 students who successfully completed a total of 143 certifications in various fields of career and technical education. And it's very important and worth noting that both of those numbers are all-time highs for Marshfield High School. As a result, the school district will receive $86,000 for the class of 2018 CTE incentive grant. Out of 316 school districts that applied for funding for the class of 2018, Marshfield was ranked 8th in the state for the number of students earning certificates, behind Green Bay Area Public, Racine Unified, Kenosha, Madison Metropolitan, Chippewa Falls, Sun Prairie, and the Franklin Public school districts. In conjunction with that, I certainly wanted to take the opportunity to note that all of those districts are larger than Marshfield School District. If you look at Green Bay area, Racine and Kenosha, which had numbers of 166, 158, and 154 students, that's about twice as many as we had, but those school districts are about 5 times larger than we are. So if you looked at things in terms of concentration of number of students, I think these data points do point to the fact that we have one of the strongest CTE programs throughout the state. So in addition to this wonderful accolade of garnering the grant funding to help support our CTE programming, our students have earned extremely valuable work experience in career areas here in our community that are facing workforce shortages, such as childcare, nursing assistant, automotive, information technology, agriculture, manufacturing, and many more. So we are especially happy to know that this grant funding will go back to helping support activities such as the Marshfield High School Career Exploration Day, a World of Work field trips for students and staff, professional development for our CTE teachers, and the acquisition of equipment and supplies that will help the school district continue to provide additional industry-recognized certifications for future Marshfield students. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
It's worth hearing about.
Absolutely, thank you.
Then we'll move on to acceptance of gifts, and I need to pull that up. So some of these line right up with that. I will, I'm sorry. Okay. I will read the gifts, and then I will ask what your pleasure is regarding them. We have a gift of $500 from Arlen and Jacqueline Frederick to cover green fees for the high school girls golf program. A $1,400 out-of-the-box grant through the Marshfield Area Community Foundation for a drone project submitted by Chuck Trinkler. A $2,000 grant from that 1954 out-of-the-box grant through the Marshfield Area Community Foundation for the high school library for comfy seating submitted by Karen Ott. And then for the School Forest Lodge project, we have a number of donations. One is $10,000 from Forward Bank, $450 from Lana Copland in memory of Pete Copland, who was our school forest director from 1967 to 1991, $100 from Jennifer, David, Abigail, and Peyton Smith, $2,500 from the Marshfield Area Ski Touring Foundation, $500 from Vince and Gail Tamala, $2,500 from the 1954 Out of the Box grant through the Marshfield Area Community Foundation. And then, this is the one that dovetails with the CTE grant, we also have a total of $5,200 in gifts towards the purchase of drills for the ACE Academy seniors. And those include $150 from Oil Exchange Inc. in auto repair, $300 from Automated Products Inc., $100 from Randy Gershman, $2,450 from Wisconsin AGC Construction Education Foundation, $1,200 from Haas Builders Supply Inc., $250 from Randall and Sarah Hendricks, $250 from Forward Bank, $200 from Total Electric, and $300 from Quality Roofing. What is your pleasure regarding these gifts?
Move to accept with great thanks.
Thank you. And second from Kaja. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and take the roll on those.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Bohan?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sawala?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes. Then we'll move on to employee relations.
I'd just like to add one thing to those gifts, if I could. Since it is on the agenda, the $450 comes from Lana Kapleen, and in memory of Pete Kapleen, who passed away this last year. And the only reason that I bring that up is that Pete was, I guess you could say, one of the pioneers in our school forest program here. So that's the only thought I'd like to add as far as the names there, Lana Kapleen and Pete Kapleen. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm glad that we can remember him. Okay, we'll go into employee relations.
Quickly, our meeting update. Three-person committee is Mrs. Bohan, Mrs. Steiner, and myself. Francis was not available at this particular meeting. Old business, and we'll be coming up with some action items here. Professional staff 2019-2020 alternative compensation methods was discussed. That will be an action item. New business, proposed special education teacher, 1 full-time employment intended to placement for position at Grant Elementary, and due to budget constraints, 2 special education teacher assistant positions, 1 at Lincoln, 1 at Grant, be reduced to offset the cost of the teaching position. And those people have not lost jobs either. They've been transferred to other positions. And that will be an action item tonight. And I guess that's really all I have. We didn't have a real long meeting there. So first of all, action item. One thing that I would ask though before we go there, we had a lot of editing that was due on that document. Is that all finished now? Okay, a lot of wording and a lot of editing that were recommended. So, approval of professional staff 2019-2020 alternative compensation methods, and that involves a lot of ways in which staff members earn credits and other things that can help them advance not only their education but also on the salary schedule. So that is an item on behalf of our committee for approval.
Okay.
So that's a motion to approve the alternative compensation methods plan.
Any discussion or questions regarding it? Okay. And all of that document, just so the public knows, is all those things that they have to choose from also are there because they help the district and are vital to the running of our district. So we couldn't do it without the staff. Okay, then we'll go ahead and take the roll.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Bohan?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwell?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Keep it brief. Also an action item tonight, a motion on behalf of our Personnel Committee to approve resolution, I jumped down. Approval of the special education teacher position, a 1.0 full-time position.
And any questions or comments? Then we'll go ahead and take a vote.
Mrs. Bohan?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwell?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes,
Anything else?
that's it.
Thank you. Then we'll move on to Mark Conrady and the Finance Committee.
All right, we did meet tonight. We've reviewed the monthly bills. There was really no questions. Everything looked good. We did an update on the 2019-2020 district budget. Right now that is looking very well. Looks like we're at about 36,000 above, or that's what we have left. That's a soft number, Pat told us. That could go up or it could go down, but we're sitting pretty good. In the variance report, we're at about 97.5% expended, so we're sitting in the ballpark there for what we need to be. We had discussion on a resolution to amend district-sponsored 403B and 457 plans. There are minor changes to this, and the reason for this coming to the board is to keep us in where we need to be with the IRS and our paperwork. So on behalf of the committee, I would move for the approval of resolution to amend district-sponsored 403B and 457 plans.
And that resolution is attached to the board docs, as stated there. Any questions or?
I actually have a question, and it might be minutia. If you're looking at the resolution in the third paragraph where it says, whereas the Marshfield School District employees saving plans, and in the bracket says collectively the plans, but then all of the other references are to the plan. So we say collectively plans, and then all of the other references are plans. So I'm just wondering, am I missing something, or?
And you said that's the third paragraph?
Yeah,
But it's in parentheses.
It's referring to the two
It's-
plans together.
right, but then it always says
Got it.
plan for the rest of the document. So I'm just
They don't
wondering
use
if we
the
need.
collective now.
Right, just, there was just a disconnect there. I don't know if we just need to drop the S
It-
Or add it.
or add the S
every-
to everything
every
else.
word plan.
Yeah,
The language came from our attorneys. My suspicion is that typically these resolutions are written for one plan or the other and made an attempt to combine them together, which is why you see the delivery. Yeah, we can certainly.
probably just clarify the grammar.
And I think it may also be alluding to that at any point in time when something is applicable to both, later on, it would be the plural version.
And then that's not there at all.
You don't see
I didn't-
any
there was-
plural
no,
versions
none.
thereafter?
Well, and what I think Dorothy is referring to is like when it says further resolved, the district, it goes on to implement and maintain the plan. And it is singular, while up above it talks about two plans. So,
You're right, it's odd. It should say
It's just
the
off.
plans.
We just need,
I don't know. but it's-
consistency.
yes.
This is what the lawyer said.
I should ask you guys, but my thought would be that there actually are two different plans, and that maybe it should be plural.
It looks like it should be
Further down.
plural the way
Except
it's.
All the way
where
through
it's
it.
stated
All the way
as an
through.
and it says this plan and this
So
plan.
paragraphs 4
That
and 5.
otherwise,
just
where
need-
it just says the
Yep.
plan, it should be the
And
plans.
6 and 7.
And that
Yeah,
should be
it's-
consistent with what's in parentheses in that third paragraph, collectively the plans, because that's defining it. So my thought is it should have that S on it.
Yes, that's what it
Further
looks like.
Okay.
Yep.
So that isn't, yes, Pat.
In light of that, what you'd want to do is just make an amended motion to, Dorothy, if you want to make that motion to say, to be consistent with the plural nature of the two plans language, and then vote on that amendment, and then you can vote.
Okay. So I can move to approve the resolution amended to include 2 plans. Is that?
Or to refer to.
To refer to
plans
2
in
plans.
The plural.
Yep.
Okay,
Second.
thank you, Mark. Any other discussion on that? Okay, then we'll go ahead and take the vote.
Mr. Canardi?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwalla?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis? Yes. Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes. Now, that roll was on the amendment, so now we'll take a roll call on the amended resolution. Okay.
Dr. Sitwalla?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Canardi?
Yes.
Then I'll make sure that the amended version gets in there for the fourth person to sign.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, that is all I have from finance. Very long meeting tonight.
Then next is curriculum, so I will pass this to you. Thank you. And our meeting wasn't very long either, but, so we'll get to our one action item, which is driver's ed, which we have presented before. But this also dovetails with Dr. Christensen's announcement about the CTE grant. Our committee looked at the tech ed curriculum, which is in its 4th year of implementation, or the 4th year of the 5-year cycle. And so we were, we thought it was interesting enough to attach it to board docs for all of you to read. It takes a little longer to download than some of the other attachments, but it has a lot of information. And I'll just give you some of the highlights. We did talk about some of the things that went well and some of the things that are challenges for the new courses of home maintenance and exploratory woods and metals. And we also looked at an update on 2 courses previously piloted and adopted during the curriculum cycle, which were innovative fabrication and engineering capstone. And then this has been in the process for some years because I've been hearing about it in curriculum, but the automotive classes, our instructor, our staff have been getting the National Automotive Technicians Education Foundation, also known as NATEF, certification process going, and it is now complete. So that means that our students have the opportunity to get Marshfield High School ASE, or Automotive Service Excellence, certification in electricity and electronics and maintenance and light repair, which will increase the number of certifications our kids can have. So that's very exciting. And then looking forward, staff will participate in site visits and explore other programs and course structures, future facility planning to support program delivery options, and increase industry partnerships and dual credit offerings and industry certifications. So that whole document and PowerPoint is in there for you to look at. Then we looked at the optional professional development program strands that are being added for our professional staff for the 2019-2020 school year. And that was pretty much it. The one action item that I'll go back to then is on behalf of the committee, I would ask the board to approve the driver's education curriculum.
Okay, so we have before this very esteemed body, a motion on behalf of the committee to approve the driver's education curriculum. Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Canardi?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwalla?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Again, yes.
Oh, sorry.
She's doubly sure.
I'm sure. Okay, that's it.
And I return the gavel, Madam President.
And facilities did not meet, is that correct, Mark?
That is correct.
Okay, and policy?
Did not meet.
Okay, didn't mean. So we will move on to new business. And I don't believe we have approval of retirements, but I don't believe we have any.
Submitted.
So we'll move on to resignations. And
As we reviewed in the executive session, we do have some resignations that have been submitted since our last meeting. So if the board so chooses, I think we'd be looking at a motion to accept.
I will make a motion to accept the resignations of Adam Kittle, Michelle Plath, Jared, I think that's Shabilsky, Adam Tice, and Brady Turner.
Amber.
Amber.
That's what I say.
Adam.
Amber Tice, thank you. Put my glasses back on.
Second.
Thank you, Mark. So, any questions or discussion? Then we'll go ahead and take the vote.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwalla?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
We also reported out during the executive session that the administration does have recommendations on a couple of new hires to fill some vacancies that occurred, one due to a retirement in the science department, and to fill the position of accounting manager that was vacated by resignation last month.
And is there a motion?
I move to hire Thomas Brand as the new science teacher, Jacqueline Schreiber as the account manager.
Thank you. So, thank you. I'll just second. Okay, then, well, if there's no discussion or questions, we'll go ahead and take the vote.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwalla?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
And then we have the annual declaration of the district's academic standards that would be in effect for the 2019-2020 school year. And hopefully you have had a chance to look at that.
Yeah, I would just quickly add that this is one of those annual items, action items that boards by state statute are required to approve. You'll note that within your board docs, there is a URL for a web link that takes you to the full listing of our academic standards on the district website. For those in the public that don't have board docs and may be watching, I would just note that on our school district main webpage, if you go to marshfieldschools.org, under the academics tab, if you click on or put your cursor over the academics tab, 3 lines down is a link choice titled academic standards, and that is where anyone from the public can go ahead and review the full listing of our academic standards on the district website.
And they're extensive, too
Yeah.
extensive to
Yeah.
read. So there are academic standards for English language arts, for geography, history, math, science, etc. So what would be the board's desire regarding those standards for the next school year?
Move to approve.
Move to approve the
Second.
current, and seconded by Dale. So Dorothy for first. And that would be to approve the current standards for the 2019-2020 school year. To extend those. Okay. Any discussion, any questions?
No, I just can't get over how detailed these are.
Right, they are detailed, a lot of work.
Mhm.
Then we'll go ahead and take the roll.
Mrs. Vaughn?
Yes.
Mr. Conrady?
Yes.
Dr. Sitwalla?
Yes.
Dr. Schulman?
Yes.
Ms. Cheney?
Yes.
Mr. Yekitis?
Yes.
Okay. And I don't believe we have any old business or overnight or extended trips, which brings us right on down to adjournment, if there's a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.